What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. In the last video, we finally finished the exterior of the Mark II by finishing up the entire wet sanding and polishing. In the previous video, I did the chassis itself, and then in the last video, we hit up the Bean Sports Kit, the rear bumper, the side skirts, and the front bumper and headlights. This thing looks absolutely amazing, and even in the light on camera, it doesn't not do justice. The Mark II looks incredible, and I'm super stoked. I am now currently just on the hunt for a nice roof wing that we can go ahead and paint and wet sand as well and install. But on that note, the Mark II essentially is completed from the outside. And now we are jumping right back in to the built 1JZ VVTi. A quick rundown on the motor to those who are new. 1JZ GTE VVTi from the Mark II has been completely refreshed from the head to the oil pan. For the head it is built, we have the BC Racing head package, valve springs retainers, cams are 264, ARP head and main studs. We got an OEM Toyota head gasket since it is already metal and multi-layered. Bottom end, just completely refreshed, machine work included with an ultrasonic on all the internals. They came out absolutely amazing. For the hot side, we are running a 6-boost top mount manifold. Turbo is a Garrett Gen 2 G30 725. Decided to go with a smaller frame turbo for something a little bit more responsive. This is my only limiting factor. I know this motor alone can handle well up to 800 horsepower, but again, smaller turbo. I was going to go with a G35 990, but just decided on something a little bit more responsive. Cold side, no stock intake manifold, proven, tried and true. We have a radium fuel system, fuel rail. We are running -6 PTFE lines, injector dynamic 1300s. Motor is going to be on 100% ethanol. Let's see, Greddy oil filter relocation kits, radium fuel damper. You know, we got the Serial 9 goodies as well. AC delete brought to you by Drift Motion. Have a 2JZ oil pump mod. We have the fluid damper as well, and an LS 430 or 460 alternator, essentially going from 80 to 120 amps. And for that, that's pretty much it. No trigger kit on this, just a stock cam and crank sensor, but this motor should easily push well over 600 horsepower. And now, before we begin with the install of the parts I have laid out on the bed, just want to give a huge shout out to the boy Jack at Wiring Specialties for building me such an incredible wiring harness. Called me to update me as well as triple check on the appropriate sensors and parts that I'm running. So without further ado, we do have the wiring harness for the Mark II. Got in last week. Looks absolutely amazing. Like, this is super clean. Everything is labeled for you, which is amazing. Of course, you know, they give you a printout of your pinouts, so keep that in your car. Like, we have literally everything, and they do utilize your stock 1JZ VVTi X100 harness. I believe they use that for the inside connectors. As such, got you a good relay there. My friend did mention that his relay did burn out, so we upgraded to a bigger one. Not too sure if it was a fault of wiring or if the relay is too small, but something to keep in mind and something for me to keep in mind. This is a 40 amp. If you need to go bigger because the wires are burning up, we'll have to do so. And then everything disconnects very nicely. And then we do have the boot here that goes onto the firewall. But like, we got everything. EFI relay, additional wires for sensors. Got my Toyota Camry drive-by-wire sensor for the pedal. Moving on here, we did go GTR coil packs, R35, knock sensors from Bosch, a lot of additional wires. We got ourselves a nice ground kit. Like, this thing looks absolutely amazing. I'm super stoked on it. I decided to run pressure and temp sensors for fuel and oil to kind of clean up the bay a little bit. And some other sensors and wires that I just need to figure out, which shouldn't be too complex, honestly. And then my friend told me this little box here goes behind the radio location, so it makes sure your cluster gauge works. And then Jack also redid my transmission harness, so it is essentially OEM since I went auto to manual. Speed sensor there with the reverse. So again, thank you so much, Jack. And then we got the Bosch 68mm electronic throttle body connector. And then, like I mentioned, R35 GTR coil packs went with Haltech's kit. They send you this nice aluminum bracket with all the hardware included, as well as plugs for the valve cover since these do sit a little high. Running a Haltech flex fuel sensor. Then boost controller. Here's our pressure and fluid temp sensors. And then our knock sensors, which I will be selling these three. If you need them, please hit me up via Instagram. 2 Bosch wideband knock sensors I already had purchased from my buddy Albert, and then another fluid and temp sensor. Took a little over 8 weeks to get in, but definitely well worth it. And it's going to clean up the engine bay much nicer. And I know from my stock harness that I sent out, this thing was all crusty and there were wires broken, and I know my headlights were shortening out due to the faulty wiring, but that should all change now, so I'm super stoked on that. So let's go ahead and install our R35 GTR coil packs. I do have some more bits from Radium that came in. We're going to install our press-in fittings to the cold side and the hot side, and then we'll get the timing cover and valve covers all torqued down to spec. Valve covers off. So in order for me to fully install the Haltech R35 GTR coil kit conversion, we do have to take off these breather valves here. For the cold side, it allows adequate clearance between the bracket and the ear here. Kind of hoping I didn't have to, but it is what it is. They do supply you with some plugs as well. So let's go ahead and take some channel locks and get both these plugs out. Just like that. Got the OEM fittings out and the new plugs in. Very, very easy. Now let's go ahead and grab our push-in fittings from the freezer and get them installed. All right, Radium push-in fittings have been installed. Just had these in the freezer for a good 3 days, so the metal shrunk ever so slightly. Went ahead and used some white lithium spray and sprayed on a Q-tip and wiped inside of the valve cover here for ease of installation. Use a microfiber and a dead glow to get the fittings on, and now they're all installed. I like these from Radium because they swivel, makes manipulating your lines much easier. And then here we have the intake, the hot side, all good. So now let's go ahead and torque our valve cover bolts to 74 inch-pounds via OEM specifications, and go ahead and start installing our R35 Haltech coil conversion kit. Alright, our R35 GTR coil packs have been installed with the Haltech bracket. Everything fits as it should. Just got the bolts nice and snug. And again, got the valve covers all torqued down to 74 inch-pounds. Don't tighten them too tight because these earlobes are a little brittle and they will snap. Looking good so far, incredibly stoked on that. Now next on our list is to install our pressure temp sensors on the oil and the fuel damper. So, change of plans for the pressure sensor on the fuel damper. Unfortunately, I cannot route it here because the starter goes here, and the starter is pretty bulky, so that essentially obstructs where the sensor goes. So I just went ahead and put some sealant thread on a plug, so that's good to go. I'll also have to install the sensor on the fuel pressure regulator in a later date. Moving to the ready oil catch can housing. This port here is PT as opposed to NPT, National Pipe Thread. So the threads are a little bit different, but I do have an adapter male pipeline thread to National Pipeline Thread coming tomorrow morning. So we'll go ahead and pick that up once it comes in. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and install my radium oil catch can. This is a really nice piece and it's baffled quite nicely as well. Got the drain on the bottom, comes with fittings, which I don't think I'll be using these fittings because these look like they are -6, and the fittings we installed are definitely -10. So I'll have to order new fittings for the catch can, but we can still get this mounted. And then these other fittings here are irrelevant as well. This is essentially for the stock setup, but you know, it does come with all the mounting hardware needed, bracket to the chassis, hardware for the body, and of course more cable ties, and it does come with a nice PVC hose. Alright, so let's go ahead and install our mounting bracket to the chassis. This top portion here is going to be an M8 bolt, size T5 for the Allen, and then the bolt they supply you with creates threads down here, which is going to be a 9/16. Essentially just sits like so, and then you still have plenty of room to access the bolts to the oil catch can. Alright, just finished up mounting the bracket. So I did do things a little differently. I did utilize the M8 bolt that they send, but I didn't like that self-tap bolt. So what I ended up doing was making my own hole, or utilizing the stock hole that's on the X chassis. And I ended up elongating it with a 23/64 bit, and then utilized an M6 rib nut. And I got that all nice and cleaned, and of course polished up the edges and hit it with some clear coat so it doesn't rust over. So now this is ready for the oil catch can. You can use this if you're patient, but I think it's easier just again to use a 23/64 bit and an M6 rib nut. And just like that, the radium oil catch can for the JZX100 has been installed. Nice and compact in there, very sleek. Love how it looks. And like I mentioned in the previous clips, I will be swapping out these spool fittings to 10 ORB to -10. And of course, once we get the 1J back in the engine bay, we'll go ahead and solidify our lines. Alright everybody, and on that note, that is all I have for you in this video. I apologize if it was a little random and sporadic, but the main thing is we got the wire harness in, we got the GTR coil packs installed with the radium fittings. I'm currently waiting on a couple more parts to simplify the cooling system on the 1J, since it'll just be easier to knock out the cooling system on the 1J with the motor out. So those parts should be in hopefully tomorrow, and then the next video will be simplifying the 1J's cooling system. And then I just got word that some parts I need for the Mark II are currently on back order, so that's going to push back the reinstallment of the motor in the Mark II about 3 weeks. I'm not stoked on it, but it is what it is. But I'm gonna do my absolute best to get content out for you guys. But I did go ahead and polish up the Mark II again. Looks even more incredible. Polish the wheels up, polish the KFs up, and as well as the glass. But again, everybody, thank you so much for the continued love and support. And if you're new to the channel too and want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. I'll catch you next video. Take care.